The Truth, episode 64 with the Goat in the building. We back, baby. It's been a month off. Football's been slow, but we back bringing that live content. But for all y'all haters out there, want to hate on my quarterback, remember, he is number one in the league, and this is what he do.
Just the third.
Going on, everybody, man, and welcome to the very first episode of The Truth, where not all Eagle fans agree on everything, and this is definitely the spot where this shit about to go down.
Oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going.
This is why we started this, because of you. We started this. I'm tired of listening to your, fantasy that you living in right now. Always talking about 17 no until proven otherwise. BS!
I'll be number one, working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah. Fatal like a gun.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I was pretty close last year. We could have easily won those 3 games.
I gotta get through it, and the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing.
Right? Did you not think ourselves those 3 games?
Look, we lost.
Never listen to the
We
no's.
lost.
I just wanna
We
get
lost. We couldn't win the Super
yeah,
Bowl,
put
we
it
lost.
on. I do. I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed. Feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know.
What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to 64 of The Truth. I'm BG31 here with my boy JC Sportstalk and the GOAT of all Eagles content, Mr. Philly 500. How you doing, 500?
What's up, my man? How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
I can't call it, man. Another day, another off season. We're sitting here Super Bowl champions this time around. I think this is the first time we got Joel since we are the Super Bowl champs. So everybody need to, address us as the Super Bowl champs from here on out. How you feeling since that Super Bowl win?
Good, man. I don't know. In some ways, it feels like it was a long time ago because so much has happened and hasn't happened. Like it's been quiet in terms of who we've brought in, really. And just things going on with the Eagles. But we lost a lot of players. A lot of guys left. So I'm looking forward to this draft, man, to kind of to get some talent in here for this team.
How you feel overall about the team? Like, do you feel like even like no more moves made right now? The Eagles were that good last year that we're still Super Bowl contenders going into the season right now.
Yeah, I still think they're the best team right now. I think there's like some holes we got to fill, but if you look at like let's say the NFC, what team has really caught up to the Eagles? Even with the guys we've lost, most of them are already replaced by what we had on the roster. So I think we're still the best team in the league. No, there's no question about it. I mean, we were good last year. We're still really good this year, but we got some things we got to take care of.
I think we were like so good last year that the players that we lost a little bit in a certain area, we kind of upgraded a little bit, in my opinion. Like the Gainwell, right? I mean, hey, we got Shipley, and then we got that Dillon, right? Dillon.
Yeah.
I mean, which one would you take? You know what I mean? AJ Dillon, you know what I mean? And we know what this guy could do. Or Gainwell that have many opportunities, right? You know what I mean? And then the Slade situation. Look, I love big play Slade, but it seemed like at least the first 10 games of the season, every time I look on the field, he's on the sideline, like somewhere. And then Rodgers, and you know what I mean. So now we got Rango, and then we went out and got Adoree Jackson. I mean, hey, to me. We didn't lose much. The one person that we could not afford to lose, we re-signed. That was the end of my free agency. That was like, hey, this is it. Whatever we would do after that is just, gravy. But I think we were that good that no matter how this draft goes. And look, how we have learned. So I trust him that he's going to do a great job, right, doing this draft. But I'm not worried at all. You are right. We were the best team in the NFC by far, and to me, we didn't lose that much to say, well, they're like the top 3. No, we're still number 1.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said.
No, I was just gonna say, to me, there's only one issue I have with everything they've done, and that's the CJ Gardner-Johnson trade. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It was like an unnecessarily, like, something you didn't have to do. You could have waited one more year and then moved on from them. So to me, that's the only thing that I scratch my head and go, like, I don't know, what are we doing here? You know, other than that, I'm good with everything.
I mean, do you think it was like a money situation? Maybe Gardner went and talked and say, I need a pay raise, or is Howie just getting ahead of next offseason, or maybe even this offseason? Look, Jordan Davis, he still got to get signed. He's going into his last, I think his year 4 next season. So, I mean, he still got to get paid. Who else got to get paid? Kim Jurgens. He still got to get paid. So this offseason is not finished yet. So,
right. Well, my hope is that they moved on from him because they were looking at those safeties coming out, and they're saying, we're going to draft a guy, we're going to play him as a rookie, and then it's going to free up Reed Blankenship for an extension. Because if you sign extension to Reed Blankenship, you're going to have to deal with signing CJ. So that's what I hope it is. But right now, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, we don't got a safety. I don't have enough trust in Sidney Brown yet. So
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like maybe it was a little bit about the money moving forward, because we do got a lot of young stars that, so if they have the year that we all want them to have this year, we're going to definitely have to pay them all. Pay them all. We're going to try to keep them all. Pay them all. We're keep them all. And there's a lot of them. So that saving the bag thing is one thing. I do feel that another thing that people don't really look at is, what were we saying about when we brought CJ back? We needed that dog mentality. Remember what happened in the Niners game? We're getting punked around. Right. We got dog mentality. But over the last couple of years, we've been getting these Georgia Bulldogs. We've been getting these, players that I don't think we really need that edge anymore. I think the players that we got with, all the Georgia Bulldogs, the Philly Dogs out there, saying? All the new guys from Poignon, all these guys come in with the heart, come in with fierce tenacity, ready to play football to the point where you can lose that one piece this time around. Last time when we lost them, our team wasn't there. But now, you got Jordan Davis coming into like his second year for Jordan Davis, or fourth year for Jordan, but second year for Jalen Carter going into his third year. You got Nolan Smith coming back. You got, these young bulls that have been playing pretty good. Amaro Jomers look like he's coming back this year stronger. You got all these cats ready to make their name felt to the point that I don't think you look at us as that soft team no more. We made a lot of big plays this year. We made a lot of big hits this year. And I just think that CJ Gardner was expendable. In terms of safety, I do think that underrated thing that people didn't look at was the Seam signing at the end of last year. You know what I'm saying? That is another Georgia Bulldog that played some pretty good safety. I think in the drafts, a lot of people did want us to draft him, that draft. Then you got a guy that everybody wants to play, and that's Brown. Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown came off that ACL. He started looking better towards the end of the season last year, but it takes a whole year to be able to really fully recover. I think the Eagles understood that, and they prepared for that. They knew that this year, Super Bowl or not, we're going to get rid of CJ and give Sidney Brown his shot, his opportunity if he's healthy enough. And I think, after seeing him at the end of the season last year, and seeing him motivated right now in the offseason out there training, getting ready, I think that is he, CJ No, but he brings a lot of other things to the table that we're kind of overlooking there. So I think in terms of safety, with the talent that we have on the D-line, linebacker spots, if we're going to talk about all the missing pieces, I just feel like, we can draft the safety, but at the end of the day, we can draft this. We don't have to use our first round pick for safety. I feel like that room itself is good enough, with Blankenship and Sidney Brown. I'd be cool with those guys rolling out there, until Sidney Brown shows me that he's declining, because of the ACL. I'll be looking for him next
Did
step.
he incline? What are we talking about here? No, like there's so much unknown. That's why we went out and brought back, I'm Charleston Gardner. If anything, Justin Simmons, he's still out there. So if you want to just throw him in there, I feel comfortable, right? But right now, yes, I'm like 500, man. If we need get Sidney Brown, but is he really a cover safety like that? Like, or is he like a box safety, just come and later, lay you out or something like that? But right now, we don't really have that true safety on this team.
Yeah, and then the other kid, I just can't trust him coming off that injury. That was a kind sign, that kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a major injury, and he already failed in Minnesota. So I don't know if I can say, oh yeah, he's good enough and Sidney Brown's good enough. I haven't seen enough. I'm not saying Sidney Brown can't do it, but I can't go into the season with him as the guy. I need to have some competition there, whether it's just Simmons, whether I'm going to draft a rookie safety. I got to bring in competition.
So for the safety spot, you guys are both saying for sure we need to either draft one or sign one. For sure.
Yes.
Like even if we didn't, you wouldn't be happy if we didn't, but we picked up a defensive tackle or defensive, more pressure on the quarterback, something like that.
It doesn't have to be in the first round.
No.
We got the best number one defense in the league, my guys. Like we got the best defense.
I know.
And I think
you got a giant hole with that safety, man. P.J. Gardner-Johnson did a lot.
Has 6 interceptions.
And you
remember last year too.
How
many games you were like CJ got burned.
You didn't hear me say it once.
I was saying it the first 4 weeks. Even he came out and said it himself.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He said, "I gotta play better because hey, you know why? Because the defense just trying to get to know each other. But once they started playing together, once Vic Fangio said, hey, Cooper DeJean, let's put you, and now everybody just start finding their role. But we do. All right, so our 500 is it a Vic Fangio? Do you trust Vic Fangio if we do not go out and get another safety? Do you trust that he could turn Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship into the type of player that we need on this team, knowing what he just did with this defense?
And Christian Parker too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Christian Parker and Vic, and if you look at the defensive staff, right, where was all the success coming from for a lot of these guys, a lot of these players? There were a lot of young players. When they played the young guys, they were effective. So, I can't say that they can't develop Sidney Brown or anything like that. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying that I can't go in to the season and say, yeah, you know what? He's the guy. It's like Ringo, right? They go out and they bring in Adoree Jackson. Why? To compete with Ringo. They want Ringo to win that job. But if something happens, they've got Adoree Jackson to fall back on. So whether you got to go out and get Justin Simmons, whether you bring in another safety, I think you need to do something there. Because to me, that's really the big question mark on defense. I don't have any other problems with the defense except for that. Like losing Josh Sweat, losing Milt Williams. Like I feel like we got replacements for all those guys.
Yeah.
We just need to fill that safety spot up. And to me, see, the reason I'm all about safety in the first round, because to me, you look at the success they had with Q. Look at the success they had with Cooper DeJean. Imagine if you could get a rookie safety on a rookie contract, a guy who's going to be there for the next 5-6 years, come in and play just like those guys did. Well, now you can sign Reed Blankenship to an extension, and you're good for the next 5-6 years in the secondary. That's what I would like to see them do.
So which one would you prefer, though, 500? Would you prefer the drafting of a Malik Starks in the first round, or signing like a Justin Simmons, who's very familiar with the scheme? If you had to choose which way you want to go old or you want to go young with that one safety position, and then maybe if you go old with the Justin Simmons, you're like giving guys like Sidney Brown seeing a chance to develop another year before you try to put them out there, or do you go young and say forget it? I don't trust these guys. I'm gonna get somebody I know I can go in there and trust and throw it like a Malachi Starks in there.
I'm going Malachi Starks. I'm going young. I'm going young. Why mess up something that's working? You're winning games with young guys. Let's just continue that, man. Let's plug in a top notch safety, and let's play him. And that's what I would do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with the success that Vic Fangio showed, that and also these young players, man, they listen. Like, they are hungry. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, you saw how the Dolphins players was like old and grumpy. Oh, Vic this, Vic this. Every young player on this team was like, oh man, we love that, and we love being on it. Like, we love to be Coach Hard. So I mean, look, I would also go young. And we're gonna learn on the fly with him. If we do draft a safety and he happened to start, Vic Fangio, he don't care where he was drafted. He will play the best player. And he said that last offseason when you kept on saying Birdgang, Bradbury needs to start. Bradbury needs to start. I'm like, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I didn't like everybody hating on Bradbury so much, man. Jeez, leave the guy alone. God damn it.
But that shows that, hey, Vic Fangio don't care your status. Hey, the best player is going to play. Devontae Maddox, right? He started playing trash. Put, Cooper in. So we was learning on the fly. And I think that because of what he did last year with this defense, that all he got to do right now is like just drop a safety in. And that's, hey, this is the defense we're going to run. Let's add some more, scheme into it, because y'all guys know the old scheme from last year. And now you only got to teach one player instead of the whole defense all over again. So, I mean, I would go young.
Okay. Well, I would say I don't want a Justin Simmons for sure. I don't want an old cat. Like you guys said, I am on the younger side too. I do believe Sidney Brown is going to be our starter this year. I think he's good enough to be our starter this year. I think with a good offseason, he can come in and play at the level we need him to play at that one position, because all the other positions are so locked out. We're going to talk about the next position I want to talk about here is replacing the Darius Slay. We got corners in the draft. You got, hey, Ramsey just got put on the trading block. He said he wants to get traded. Do you guys want a Ramsey on the team? We got options. We got Ringo. We got Riggs. And like I said, there's definitely some corners in this draft we can pick up. So what do you guys think we should do about that replacement of Darius Slay?
I think it's the same. I think it's the same philosophy as we talked about with safety. I think you give Ringo an opportunity to win the job against Adoree Jackson. If you want to draft somebody in the mid rounds, I'm fine with that. But I'm going to go with them. I mean, listen, playing the young guys and developing these guys has worked for us. So to me, I'm gonna have an open competition between Adoree Jackson and Ringo at that cornerback spot. And I'm more confident in Ringo actually winning the corner spot than Sidney Brown winning the safety spot. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Oh, and he got Adoree after him. That's Adoree Jackson's a first round talent. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and I'm a USC guy, so I love Adoree. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy.
Yeah, like Pro Bowl too.
Which we already got him. Like,
and we wanted him. Look, remember we all wanted him before the Giants, and now he went.
I wanted Adoree Jackson before they come in. Yeah. But I think he's another one too that he's definitely going to push him. He's going to push him to the limits. But like you said, I would definitely let that roll out. Maybe we got to go second or third round and draft the corner just to bring in here to have some competition. That'd be cool. But in terms of our cornerbacks right now, because you already got enough money right there, you're gonna have to pay. If Guantanamo Bay come back and play like the way he played, and he continued to develop and get better, then that's gonna be a big contract you gotta pay. If DeJean comes back and get better, and we heard him finally say he's keeping him at the slot. Yeah, well, if it ain't broke, it ain't fixed. I think that's a lot of that was a big issue. A lot of the Eagle fans were worried about. We were trying to slide him out to the outside or not. And I think that's a great decision by Vic by keeping him there in that slot. But he's going to get paid some money because I think the Houston guy just got paid. He's a slot guy. He got paid like $39 million contract. So it's like that's a lot of money in just your cornerback position. You can't afford to get another high first round caliber cornerback. And, 3 years from now, you got to pay 3 cornerbacks. That take up all the money for your defense.
Yeah, and it wouldn't make sense to bring in a Ramsey. Like, it just wouldn't make sense. Like, I mean, you let Chauncey walk, right? Let's just say it's for pay reasons, the future, looking ahead. Yo, Ramsey is owed $25 million this year. Yo, he's a 1 year, $25 million deal. Unless he try to come in to play the veteran minimum, like it makes no sense to go out and then try to bring Ramsey. I don't care. I mean, I don't think he makes that defense that much better.
Well, he is he is older now because he was.
Well, you guys remember though when Ramsey and Vic Fangio, when Vic Fangio was in Miami, Ramsey's one of the guys that ran him out.
Yep.
He's one of the guys that was complaining about Vic Fangio. So I don't want anything to do with him because of that. So I'll stay away.
Yeah. All right. So basically, it's going to be between. You think Eli Ricks have a shot at all making his name?
I think outside chance. I think he's got an outside chance. You know,
dark horse.
I like Ricks. I like him.
Outside either Ringo or Dory Jackson. Like you said, I want Ringo to finally win it. Like I was shocked last year he didn't play as much. You know, when they had Rodgers over there, and they're like, oh well, Ringo's going to be able to. This one's backup, and Rodgers will be the other backup. But it didn't matter who got hurt. Rodgers was the backup. You didn't really see that much of Ringo except for special teams and whatnot. So I think he's ready. How many years you going to take? If it ain't your year this year, we might as well get ready.
Yeah. And if he doesn't pan out, if he can't win a job, I think Adoree Jackson's competent enough. He's good enough to fill in and be decent at the position. So I think he'll be okay.
Too. Yeah, and he's still young too, you know. So I mean, cornerback is the least of my worries. But I do have something though. How confident are you in this linebacker core besides Zach Bond coming back? We got no Kobe Dean, can't stay healthy on his last year, by the way. This is it, right, coming up. So we let a Burks walk, right, which I think that was a big mistake because you could sign him as a veteran, you know, at a veteran minimum. I don't know. Like, he got like 3 years for like $10 million somewhere, right? He didn't cost that much. And to play that well, you know, when Dean went down, look, I would have felt comfortable with Burks and Bond. But Dean is shaky to me, man. Yes, he had a great 14 game, and unfortunately, he got hurt. And now we right here in the same situation. But I know we got Trotter out there that, you know, okay. So with that being said, how comfortable are you at the linebacker positions, or do you think the Philadelphia Eagles need to draft a linebacker, either second round, third round?
They're talking about that guy from Alabama.
I'm not shaking at all. Not shaking.
You're not shaking?
I like Trotter Jr., man. I think Trotter Jr. is a player. And I've been saying this since they drafted. He's going to start at some point. So I think he could play. I do think you've got to add another linebacker in the draft. Like mid-rounds, you need depth. And I agree with you. Oren Burks, I think it was like $5.5 million for 2 years. It was cheap. So you could have easily brought him back. But I think that they do that move because they know Trotter is going to be ready. Like you know, it was like Trotter and Burks going into playoffs. Like it was close to being Trotter that played. So I think that they think another year of development, he's going to be ready to go. I think Trotter is going to be all right. I feel good about him.
So what would you do with Dean? Because we don't know if he's going to start off the year or what. But knowing that this is his last year, I mean, he was a third round pick, so there's no fifth year option. So this is it for him.
I mean, when he's ready to go, let him go and play, you know, and if he can make it through the year healthy after coming back, then fine. I mean, I think if Dean's on the field, he's an impact player. Like, he's a player. He's just got to stay healthy. I have no reason to move off of Dean. Even with the injury stuff, man, I try to ride it out. I mean, it would have to be like he come back and just not look the same or something like that. But I don't expect him to be ready at the beginning of the year. But, I mean, man, I don't know. To me, he wasn't as good as Bond, but, man, he was good, man.
Yeah,
he was good. He was a Pro Bowl type linebacker.
Okay, so
I'm not ready to give up on him.
Would you prefer Trotter's development to be above that? Do you think his development can be above that in terms of like this next offseason, him going in? Because he's probably going to get the opportunity to start in the beginning of the season, because I don't think Dean's going to be back right away. And now you have the luxury of holding back on bringing Dean back, rushing him back, because, you know, you got just Trotter situation? Do you think he's good enough to be better than Dean, though?
Better than I think. I don't know. I think he could. I think he could be a Pro Bowl linebacker. I think he could do what we saw last year from Dean. You know, hopefully minus the injuries and stuff. I think he's got a lot of talent. You know, so we'll see.
So my question for you is, all right, so we do not want to end up in a Zach Bond situation with no Kobe Dean, right? You know, with the Zach Bond situation, man, he balled out 1 year. You know, he barely played linebacker. But Dean, with his injury history, would you – because we had no reason to move off of him besides the injuries. Would you try to sign him to a short-term 2-3 year contract extension just in case – you know, he has this all-pro season, you know, like Zach Bond, and at least we got him locked up already because we saw this coming, right?
Yeah, if you could get him cheap, I would try. You know, if because of the injuries, you could get him cheap, or you could get him for an extra year, I would do it. I wouldn't let the injuries scare me off of signing him. The last thing you want to see is Nakobe Dean go somewhere else and then all of a sudden not hurt for the next 5 years, and he balls out.
All pro linebacker.
Yeah, but you know it's got to be for the right price. You know what I mean? And we'll see. Some people say that this injury is going to affect him next year. Let's see how he looks. You know, but if he comes back and he's somewhat the same, yeah, I'd try to sign him.
Yeah, and hey, J-Dog. My bad. We were talking about the linebacker. We got off that safety, but what was your question? Let's get that question answered. He said, would you sign Justin Simmons and draft a safety so he can learn under Justin Simmons?
That's money we don't have.
So like, a 1 year deal, basically, what he's saying. Would you do a Justin Simmons 1 year deal?
I mean,
that money, you know how he is. 1 year deal for Justin Simmons is going to cost us like $1 million, $2 million on the cap. It's not going to be that big of a deal because he's going to front load it, add those extra ghost years, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's a smart decision to do in terms of safety?
I kind of think they're going to do it. Yeah, I kind of think they're going to do it. I kind of think Justin Simmons is coming here. I think Justin Simmons already knows. If you listen to him talk,
yeah,
he says certain things that makes me feel like he's just waiting to after the draft to sign or something like that. But I think they'll still get a safety. I still think they'll get a young safety. But it would not surprise me if you bring in a Justin Simmons for just veteran presence, right, to back up, to help these guys. It would not surprise me. So I could totally see it because it'll be cheap. He'll be cheap.
Yeah, he's not gonna be all that expensive.
But he ain't gonna come in there and be C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's past his prime, as far as I'm concerned. It's like another Kevin Byard situation.
Oh no! Come on now, hey, don't do him like that. In the middle of the season, I think he said
super trash. Super trash. You got another question for the panel. It said, with Sidney Brown returning at safety, how do you feel about drafting a kid out of Oregon? Cal G Pubs.
Curly G Pubes.
Yeah, curly, whatever.
Wait a minute. My bad.
Don't be correcting me.
I didn't have to read that.
Really? Yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. Anyways, I don't think I've watched that guy, so I can't tell you.
All right, got him. See, yo, that's messed up. Okay.
I don't know why I said cow too. That's weird.
Oh man, that's messed up. Oh man, that was a good one. But okay. But anyway, all right. Oh man. All right. So look, let's talk about. All right. Hey, can we switch a little bit to the offense, just a little bit?
Let's go.
Let's talk about Dallas Goedert, man, because that's a big elephant in the room on the offensive side, right? You know, Harry Roseman, you know, he's not going to tell you he's not going to tell you no. Or he's saying, hey, you know, we're not going to talk about the guys. What the draft is not going to impact what we do with Goedert, blah, blah, blah. What is your gut telling you about Dallas Goedert? Is he a Philadelphia Eagle come September, or is he a day two trade? So what's your gut feeling telling you about that?
God, I mean, if you listen to everybody, the media, if you listen to Howie and even even Sirianni, it sounds like he's gone. I mean,
No.
it sounds like it's going to happen. And this is another one of those things that I'm like, why? Why do you want to get rid of this guy? It's like the CJ Gardner-Johnson situation to me. Like, keep him one more year. I hope they decide not to move him, and I hope they keep him, because you're just creating a hole that you don't need to create. Why not draft a tight end, early, let him develop behind Goddard for a year, and then move on? But to do it now, I don't know. To me, it's like no need.
Yeah, I would sign Goddard. If it's about the money, right, I would just sign him to a contract extension, 2-3 year contract extension. You can still draft a tight end, also cut him. You know what I mean? Like, release him. You know how he does the math and stuff like that. So, like, I don't see no reason to move away from him. Yes, once again, injury bug. Every time he's having a great 4 or 5 games, he's guaranteed. Almost like Lane Johnson. But Lane Johnson last year did pretty darn well, right? I mean, you always worry about Lane Johnson missing about 3-4 because of groin and stuff like that. But that was Goddard the past 3 years. Man, like 3-4 games, 5 games there at the worst time. He be balling, and all of a sudden, boom, he's gone.
Yeah.
So that's my own reason. But I would not move away from him. He's still a very good tight end, definitely a top 10, probably a top 5, when healthy. Like, his catch radius, physical, like, he's that dog, right? Once he got the ball in his hand, but he just can't stay healthy. He's like a little pup when he gets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, we went out and got a lot of damn tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about, look at these guys. We got the guy Cameron Latu from San Francisco, who was a good backup tight end. We got Grayson, who was he with the Colts? I think that was, who had a pretty decent year. You got Brian, you got EJ, you got Calcaterra, who actually I thought played really good when Goddard was out last year. Like, I think Calcaterra actually took a step forward.
No,
he can't block that for sure. And then that Nick Moose guy. So we brought in like a good 4 tight end.
I like the EJ Jenkins more than any of those guys.
Yeah.
You remember him in training camp? He showed flashes.
Absolutely.
To me, I liked him better than all those guys. To me, all those guys are decent backups. Like you said, they're backups. They're not starters. So,
but you know how they say the offense is going to change. The offense needs to change. And I think when AJ especially said it, he said it in terms of like the passing game need to be more effective this year. We're not going to go into the year like just riding Saquon throughout the whole year like we did. Saquon probably not going to have the 2K season. We're going to actually have some more yards in the air. And not having a guy like Dallas Goedert or give a guy like, Jahan Dotson a chance to step up and actually get some of those catches, get some of them yards, and actually execute on there. Because you got to look past that. Yeah, we got AJ for the next 3-4 years like that, but his next contract is going to be a lot of money. You want to see what you got in the first round talent like a Jahan Dawson. So maybe you don't go get that. Because I think one of those tight ends is a really good blocker, and the other guys are like decent blockers. So you want to get the normal standard set tight ends as opposed to having that elite receiving tight end. Because now you got your third receiver out there that's going to get some plays. The
problem is problem with a lot of these tight ends is when you put them in the game, teams know, okay, you're bringing in this running tight end. They know he's there to block. So the great thing about a Goddard, what I like about a guy like Goddard is he can do both. So you're not giving away what you're doing beforehand. They know that they're going to put one of those other tight ends in on a third and short or running play and take Calcaterra out. So to me, you got to find a guy that can do both decently. So what
about these guys in the draft? You got the Texas guy, the Bowling Green. You got Mason Taylor, Jason Taylor's son, Aurora, Miami.
I like Mason Taylor. Fannin, I'm up and down on, and then I like the kid. I like the kid in the first round. That Michigan kid. But we'll see. I'm sure they'll find somebody, but
tight end is not going to make or break this team, right? I mean,
Oh, no, it's not.
How we went to the surplus store and bought like 4 times for $1 million, right? And he know for a fact they're all backups. I mean, the plan is, I'm thinking for Dallas Goedert. If Dallas Goedert is not on the Philadelphia Eagles, then that means we are drafting a tight end probably in the second round. Like, if they have any plans to get rid of him, then I think it's going to be a second round tight end. Because like there's really no other position that you probably would spend a second round on. Be a first round, pick on a safety, possibly corner that's too high to reach for. Linebacker, you got your Trotter in there. A defensive tackle, you still got your Booker. So right. I think tight end would probably be the best position that you would target in the second round, which would involve possibly a Dallas Goedert trade, and we can nip this all in the butt. You know what I mean? But if you make it past draft on this team, then I think he's going to be on the team, and we'll go from there. But
yeah, I don't know. I think Alcantara with a good offseason of blocking, like I said, that'd be another year in the system. He's another year back. You're familiar with him.
I like Alcantara as a receiver, though. I like him as a receiver.
But just not the block.
He's a little light in the ass, man. Like he ain't no guy.
That's right.
Well, we're on the opposite side of the ball. We also lost one of our linemen, Becton. Are you guys on board with Steen? Are we getting an offensive lineman in the draft? Or that new guy we made that trade with, what's his name? Kenyon Johnson or something like that?
Yeah.
Is he going to come in? Kenyon Green, is he going to come in here and start? Who do you think will take over that right guard?
Keegan. Watch out for Keegan. The kid from Michigan. They love that kid coming out. I you know what, to be honest with you, I swear, I know this is crazy, but it don't matter. They got Stoutland. He always finds somebody and develops them to play good. So look, he'll probably get that kid from Houston to make him the best guard in football. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? But I don't worry about the offensive line. Whatever Stoutland says, I'm good with. I trust him.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Look, and I think we have depth, right? So, yes, losing Becton, he was a luxury to have anyway, right? I mean, because that wasn't our original plan. Like, we had Steen on the roster, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he even moved his locker from bench player to starter, right? I mean, we always like Steen is the next guy. And then all of a sudden, Becton came out of nowhere. So, I mean, we're not worried about the offensive line. Because every time these guys came in this past season, Steen came in and played very, very well for Becton that was going out, for Lane Johnson that was going out. So, I mean, we're good. I mean, I think offensive line, we're good. Once again, it's a luxury. That's how good this team is and was last season. Like, Steen went out. Freaking Becton went out. Mariota, he went out. Freaking Dickerson, he went out throughout the season.
And we brought Matt Pryor back.
Well, you just
yeah.
Pryor played he was in Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah,
and I think he was starting over here. So that's another guy too.
Yeah, I mean Pryor has moved. He can play multiple positions.
Yeah.
So he's a good depth piece. I like Steen, but I like Steen in the position he plays because he can move to either side. So I like him kind of like that piece. And if you could get a guy like Keegan or the kid they just traded for, and you could stick him in at right guard and let them play and they can take the job, I think that'd be fine. But I'm telling you, Stoutland will have whoever it is playing at a high level.
Yeah, and that's the only position on the offensive line we got to worry about. Imagine that. Like a lot of teams got to switch this, we just have one spot. 10 people fighting for one spot. You telling me that Stoutland can't get at least 5 of them to start? You know what I mean? Right. So I think we're good. We are in good position, man. So
I agree.
And then the only other spot on offense is the Kenny Gainwell replacement and
AJ Dillon.
Dillon. Like how excited are you? Because
Gainwell. Bye, Gainwell. See you later, buddy. I'm good with that.
I like it. Look, I like it, man. Look, Gainwell needs an opportunity to go shine. Look, AJ Dillon, man, he's going to be comfortable with
AJ did come off of a neck injury.
Yeah, I mean, but we don't need – look, the problem is this. Even Shipley, man. You saw Shipley last year, man. With limited opportunities, man. He's just shifty. He could come in and Spirit Barkley. I wouldn't care. I think A.J. Dillon is more of a goal line type of guy. If you don't want to do, the brotherly shove anymore, I'm just give him a few carries every now and then. But he's not gonna be like, oh, I want carries or I'm trying to get a next contract. He's just here, to be on a good team, ready to prove himself again. Whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on special teams. But I'm not worried about him, man, crying for no carries or anything like that. And he definitely, if he's not an upgrade from Gainwell in certain areas, he's a push, okay? I mean, Gainwell did not impress me, at all. I wanted Shipley to be the second running back last season, so I'm good with it.
Me too. I'm agreed.
I like AJ for sure.
I think they'll draft the running back. I think they're going to draft
that dude Blue from Texas.
Maybe, but I think they're going to get a guy who's like a quicker back, a little fast catch out of the backfield, more like a versatile kind of back, because they got some guys who are bruisers. So I think somebody like a change of pace would be really good. So I think they'll draft the running back. I like Shipley. I like Dillon if he can stay healthy, and I think we're fine. I think we've upgraded our running back position.
I think it's upgraded too.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely upgraded. I was done with a Gainwell too as well.
No more Gainwell on third down. I don't have to scream at the TV. Why is he in on third down? Why are you putting him on? It just it drove me nuts.
I feel like Dillon's more of a if you've seen him come in behind Saquon, you don't really miss a step there as much. Saquon's obviously way better than Dillon, but in terms of he's way more comparison than a guy like Gainwell. You know what I'm saying?
I just think by the fourth quarter of games, they're going to wear teams. Teams are going to be tired. They're going to be dog ass tired, and that's where Barkley's going to have his 40-yard break. Break it for 40 yards, 50 yards, because you got to go against that offensive line. Then you got to go deal with Saquon Barkley, and you got to deal with A.J. Dillon. They're going to wear that team down, and Jalen Hurts too running the ball.
Yeah,
the teams are going to be worn down by the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess the only other replacements we got to talk about now is the Sweat and the what's his name? Milt Williams replacements. So
that's done. It's done. That's done.
We already got him.
Jalen Hunt is a star. I'm telling everybody.
I thought you were gonna go with the guy we just got from New York.
I like him too. He did
Goedert.
double-digit sack. Yeah, I like him too. But Jalen Hunt is a star. Everybody is sleeping on him. Go watch him in the playoffs. He pretty much put up the same statistics as Josh Sweat in the playoffs on less snaps. I think that kid broke out, and I think Nolan Smith broke out. I think you got two guys are ready to go. So I think Josh Sweat going isn't going to hurt us. And then Milton Williams, I like Milton Williams. He's good. But you know what? Ojomo is developing like Milton Williams was a few years ago, and he'll continue to get better. Their defensive line is not a problem at all. I actually kind of like it more.
And we got Booker in there. I mean, we got some depth, man. So that's why I was okay with, Milton Williams and Josh Sweat walking. I mean, did you see
Brandon Graham?
Yeah, I mean, that one, that one hurts for other reasons. But he was, he was older already.
But see, the problem is with BG though, right? The problem is with BG. Nolan Smith was not getting no burn when BG was on the field because BG was playing that great. Right, Nolan Smith after BG went down versus the Rams after that game. That's when he took off. So I mean, I'm okay with BG retiring. Yeah, I'm glad he went out on top. If there's a 10% chance he might come back, okay. I mean, but I think that our defensive line is as good, if not better, than last year's defensive line because we got some dogs that's coming. Young dogs that's coming. Josh Sweat was good, but he wasn't dominant, right? I mean, and I think that with Nolan Smith having a breakout, second half of the season with the Jalen Hunt, with the Booker. I mean, we are stacked on that defensive line. It's gonna be a problem second year in the system, yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I like Jalen a lot too. I think he's definitely going to be taking that next step this year. He said he definitely showed out. And what, he had a sack and a half in the Super Bowl, or was it just a sack?
Yes, he had a sack and a half in the playoffs. I don't know if it was all. I don't think it was all in the Super Bowl, but I think he had a sack. I think he had a sack in the Super Bowl and a half sack going in. But man, he was playing. Man, he was productive, and I think with him developing, with Nolan Smith developing, with Jalen Carter going into his third year, and I'll even say this: I think Jordan Davis turned the corner in the playoffs.
That's who is not being talked about.
He got a sack versus Washington that championship game. You look at him on the sideline, dude. He looked like something just clicked, and he was good the rest of that game, and he was really good in the Super Bowl. So I like where we are, and I think we'll draft a defensive, like probably another edge rusher early. I think within the first 2 rounds we're going to take another edge rusher. So, I mean, I think we got plenty of weapons on that defensive line.
Are you going more DT first? And say so say the Eagles do stick to their gun to get an offensive or defensive lineman in that first round. Are you going more, and say it is a defensive player, are you going more to a defensive end position? Because you still got, like you said, Ojulari. What's the other dude's name?
Uche. Yeah.
Uche, yeah.
Uche. Yeah. And then you still got Jalen, you got Nolan. So that's 4 right there. Are you worried about getting a first round pick on there, or do you go with like a DT? Like a Walter Nolan type guy. I like that guy. I think he does remind me a little bit of a Jalen Carter type guy.
He's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. If I had to guess, I think it would be an edge rusher. I think they probably could get a defensive tackle in the mid rounds. I think it would be more of an edge rusher.
Yo, if the Eagles go DT, all right. If they draft DT, then Jordan Davis is gone.
Gone.
Like Jordan Davis to me, yes, all right. Because I did not see him on the field enough this past season. Right? When he was on the field, it was obvious, he was there to just stop the run, just stuff a gap, and that's it, right? Like, and we need a DT that could play all 4 downs like Jalen Carter. Help him out, right? You know what I mean? So I think if they do go DT, especially with the contract that's coming up with Jordan Davis following season, I think he's a trade bait. He's a trade piece. So
I think personally we need to get his backup, because if you look at our runs game, like you said, 500 at the end of that in the playoff run, Jordan Davis stepped up. You know what I'm saying? He had a couple of sacks, sack in the Super Bowl, sack in that Washington game. You start seeing him turn that corner. So, yes, I think he's going to get better as he goes on. But no matter what, when people are looking at him for a statistical standpoint, that's kind of like, that's not him. He's not going to be the Jalen Carter that's supposed to get you the double-digit sacks. And everybody wanted Jalen Carter hasn't even got the double-digit sacks yet. You know what I'm saying? As good as we say he is, he's not a double-digit sack defensive tackle yet.
I think we're talking about more of an impact than the sacks.
No, I feel what you're saying, but I'm saying on impact, every time Jordan Davis I just watched a clip on Twitter, X earlier. It was like people are really, not giving Jordan Davis his full love, because like when we were going against those running teams, he is stonewalling those linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like he is to keep creating a wall that you're not getting back. Since he's been drafted, our run defense has been better and better with him in the game as opposed to when he's not in the game. So I do feel like that aspect alone, you got to keep him. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep him as long as you can. I don't think he's going to go out there and demand some high number contract, you know what I'm saying, just because he is more of a run top, kind of like the Villa type guy, but his sacks number, I feel, will increase throughout the years. You got to realize, like, with a guy like that big, that fast, that strong, like, first thing is getting it down. And then after that, you can add to it. Just like a guy like Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox wasn't really known for sacks for a long time. And then he started getting sacks, and he's got better and better as he grew throughout his career. And I think that's another thing with Jordan Davis. But I would even go DT, not the same type of DT as a Jalen Carter. Like, even I do like Walter Nolan, but he's kind of the similar thing. I would go like maybe the second or third round, but grab one of these big boy style, them 340 plus defensive tackles, to back up with Jordan Davis.
Look, I'm not saying that Jordan Davis is a bum, but I'm just saying that how do you think that Milton Williams got paid? Because Jordan Davis was down on the field, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't on the field. Vic Fangio saw a package with Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, that was more dominant with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, regardless if he was running or not. So that's all I'm saying is, if we do go that way, I believe that Jordan Davis, because he, based on Vic Fangio last season, what I watched, he's more, easy to replace than we think.
I think if you draft a defensive tackle in the first round, then yeah, Jordan Davis is not getting an extension because you're not going to pay 3 defensive tackles first round money. You're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So to me, the question for Jordan Davis is this: I look at him and I know he's an athletic freak. I'm like, this guy has the ability physically to learn to play 3 downs. He's got to get in better shape. He's got to come in and have his best year. And if he does that, I think we'll be fine. But I think if they take a defensive tackle in the first round, Jordan Davis has maybe got 1 more year left with us, and he's gone. If they take a defensive tackle in the mid rounds, which I think they're going to do, like I think they're going to take a mid round defensive tackle like Milton Williams to develop behind those guys. But Jordan Davis he's got to develop into a guy that can be on the field more because he's not out there enough, and he's right about that. He doesn't have to get 10 sacks a year, but can he get us 5? 5, 5.5, and we'll be good.
But what if you get a guy like a Desmond Watson, 6'6", 400 pounds? You know what I'm saying? Like that guy to go in and replace, Jordan Davis
is gone. Dude, I don't trust the dude. I'm sorry.
You don't think Jordan Davis earned?
I need to get shape. Right, I ain't trusting no dude 400 pounds. He ain't gonna stay healthy long enough. He's gonna have knee problems. He's gonna have. That weight's got to catch up to you, man. Like, it just does. Yeah, so I don't know, but like a Walter Nolan, like let's say you drafted Walter Nolan, I think Davis is gone. I think he'll play out the year, but he won't. He'll be a free agent, or they'll trade him or something. So you
guys are basically saying that run stuff and impact is not really that big of an impact if you got a guy that could just hold his own in the run game.
But that's not what we're saying. We're saying that he's not on the field enough. That's Milton Williams. Literally was more dominant than Jordan Davis. Run or pass, it seems like to me, because that's why he was, like when they talk about Jalen Carter, it's Milton Williams. Like it's not Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Like, and you see it. Like I'm watching the game, and Jordan Davis, like he had like 10 plays, like because Milton Williams was on the field, and then you had Booker, like the rotation, and Davis came in. Yeah, he flashes. Because he's well rested on the sideline. So, but he's still, look, I would love for him to stay on the team. Like, I'm not saying get rid of him or nothing. But if they do draft a high defensive tackle, we're going to have too many first round picks to pay. And that's what people don't understand. First round picks come with a high price tag, regardless. So look, he's smart. He's going to, take care of all the books and stuff. But you can only get away from Quayon Mitchell, Jalen Carter, freaking like all these first round picks, DeJean, where the money coming from? How he said that, hey, we paid a lot of guys on the offense. That's why now he got to finesse the defense. Yeah. So,
I don't think the Eagles are giving up on Jordan Davis. I don't think they're taking a defensive tackle in round 1. I think they'll take another edge rusher, and this is like a lot of people don't agree with me on this one, but I think safety's in play too. I really think safety's in play, and I think edge rushers in play. I can't see them take a defensive tackle in round 1, but like an edge rusher, I think we're definitely in play there.
So not even like a Walter Nolan.
I mean, it's always possible, but if you get Walter Nolan, how are you going to pay? You're going to pay 3 first-round picks at one position, not just in multiple. Like you're talking about one position. They're not going to keep. Davis would play 1 more year and go.
Well, what kind of contract do you guys take a guy like Jordan Davis since he don't really have like the stats to back him up? He has like
I
the
think he's like
gameplay. But what kind of contract do
15,
you think a guy like him gonna get?
15 million a year,
A
18 million a
year?
year, somewhere around there. If you figure Milton Williams got 26 million a year,
Yeah.
Carter's
And
going to
the
get
problem
probably in the 30s.
But that's that
30.
Super Bowl overpaying right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
the problem is this: it doesn't matter what we think he's going to make; it's how team values him, right? Milton Williams, like who saw 26 million a year? I mean, he didn't. He's not a Jalen. That's Jalen Carter money, and now he done ruined it for us. And now we got to pay $40 million a year for Jalen Carter because he's not Jalen Carter.
If they pick up, let's say they pick up the option year for Jordan Davis in May, right? So you have it's 12 million.
Yeah.
So so if you're going to extend him, he's going to want over $12 million a year. You're going to have to entice him. So I think Dave. I mean, look, Jordan Davis. If I'm Jordan Davis, I'm coming in like 220 or 320 buff, like abs showing. I'm in shape because this is his year to get paid. He goes out and has a big year. He's going to get paid.
More than Milton Williams.
Yeah.
More than Milton.
Yes.
That was a crazy, dude. That Milton, that's a bag. The
Damn,
highest
Patriots.
ever in a
Always cheating the system, Patriots.
Wait till Jalen Carter gets paid. It's going to be crazy.
Ooh.
It's only going to get. Look,
that's another thing too. What you do with that 500, right? If Jalen Carter doesn't say this next year, and I know he impacts the game besides the numbers. Now I'm not saying he doesn't, because I'm a huge fan of Carter. But if he doesn't get those double-digit sacks, next year, do you still go out and give him like the best number one contract?
Yes.
You're not producing.
He does so much for this team, man.
So much.
He wreaks havoc. Listen, we're not even in the championship game if he doesn't get a sack on Stafford late in that game. Ooh. I mean, that was so clutch. There's no way in hell that I think you think about not paying Jalen Carter. You just pay him. You just got to pay him.
But top number one,
he's going to be the highest paid defensive lineman in history when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
This next contract though, you think is good? Yeah. Say he only comes out next year and gets to use 6-7 sacks.
I'm paying him.
Yeah, I mean you paying him, but the thing is, he jumped out. Like when you watch the Philadelphia Eagles, you see Jalen Carter impacting, regardless if he gets sacks or not. I mean, that dude is bullying people. I mean, he's being held by 3 people, like any given play. So I mean, he's that dominant where people fear him. You have to game plan for a defensive tackle, almost like Aaron Donald, right? Where's Jalen Carter at? Right? He's punching grown ass 15-year vets in the face like they're little toddlers, man. Like giving them concussions over on the sideline. Like he put the fear. This defense, it revolves around Jalen Carter. If he's not on the defensive line, I'm like, oh, hey, we might need some help. Like we don't know who's going to step up with him on this defensive line.
You wonder how much he impacted Milton Williams. I mean, Milton Williams had a good year, but he was on 101 a lot, and Carter took a lot of of the blocks on, and it freed up Milton Williams, just like I thought Ojomo at times it frees up. So you just got to pay him. You just got to suck it up and pay him.
Pay the man.
Before we go with my boy Jalen Hurts, what about? Did we already talk about? I don't think we did. The whole rumor that T.J. Watt is looking to get traded. What do you think about that? Because it's a possibility. $25 million this year. If Pittsburgh pays some of that, T.J. Watt.
Here's the thing.
Or he even do a Howie move where you only get him for this year. Pay what he got to pay this year for this year, and then let him walk next year.
The problem with the T.J. Watt trade isn't what you'd have to pay. You could get him cheap. The problem is you got to pay him $40+ million. He's not going anywhere without a new contract. So if you want to get him, you got to give him a contract. So you're going to pay him $40+ million and then play Jalen Carter $40+ million. It's too much money. You don't need him. I mean, he would be great if he came to play the last year. Yeah, if he wanted to do it, but he would never do it. He's 30 years old. He's got to get his contract, his last contract right now. Yeah. That's what he's looking for. So I just think the problem is with TJ Watt is he just gonna you can't pay him. That's going to be the problem.
I think he's making what a 26, like high 20s right now, and he's on a 1-year rental with the Pittsburgh. So what do you think he want to come to Philly on a 1 year for? Like, no,
to win a Super Bowl,
man.
Actually, do what Aaron, what's that bull from Cleveland? Garrett, to do what Myles Garrett supposed to have did. You know what I'm saying? Come get yourself a Super Bowl, go get paid.
But there's no guarantee, bro. All right, look. If you say
if you're on a team next year, that's pretty much a guarantee.
No.
Pretty much a guarantee.
No. And you act like
just back every year.
Look, there's no guarantee, man. Look, all I'm saying is, if he don't want to play on a 1 year deal with Pittsburgh that drafted him, I doubt it that he'll get traded to Philly on a 1 year deal with with the same amount. I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No faith.
Look, I like him. He would be great rotational in there, but how they're not? He's not going to. If you're TJ Watt and you're going to be 31 next year, and you get one more big contract to get as much money as you can, why would you risk it on a 1 year deal with the Eagles?
To win a Super Bowl, then get that one big contract.
Yeah, I do. These guys.
Imagine TJ Watt with Jalen.
I'd be honest. Oh, it would be amazing, but look,
Birdgang got that
guys want that money. They want that money more than they want that ring. How many guys do you think want a ring over money?
Look at Myles Garrett. Yo, this dude was like, I want to win.
Like
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. I want to win. And boop, here you go. It's $40 million. I'll stay. Yeah. I always wanted to be here.
Yeah, Cleveland. You got no chance to win anything, right?
But Pittsburgh might not have the money to do what Cleveland did, though.
I think they're going to try to trade him, but I just think that wherever he goes is going to be like he's going to go with a contract. So, you know, I don't see the Eagles doing it. You know, and then you got to remember, Myles Garrett made what he's making. And you got Micah Parsons getting ready to get paid. He wants to get paid. So these guys are all resetting the market. By the time you get TJ Watt, you're gonna have to pay $45 million.
Yeah.
Do you think Micah is gonna get more than Garrett?
Yeah, I do. I think he wants more. He's younger, and it sounds like he's got the Cowboys right where he wants them. So I think he will.
I just think like it sucks. Like it doesn't matter like production wise no more. It's just like you're the next guy up, you're the next guy getting paid, resetting the market type thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but it's not all about well you should reset. Like back in the day, I feel like it was like you reset the market in terms of like a position if you like did some historical type stuff. Yeah. Like you had a season. You know what I'm saying? You earned your money.
You know what I think a lot of it is that teams figure that they want to stop paying guys for things they already did. And want to pay them for what they think they're going to do. Because, you know, you get a guy, you pay, you reward him for a big contract. We see it with the Eagles, like in 2017. All these guys got rewarded and they were at the end of their careers. Couldn't live up to it. So you want to pay guys for what they're going to, you still think they're going to do, not what they've already done.
Yeah, true that. But our quarterback has done a lot, and he is still getting hated on. This is what the is he talking about?
Dude, didn't Chase Daniels back up? Wasn't he a backup in Philly for like a year?
He back up forever.
He threw one pass. In Philly.
He stinks, and we booed him, and we hated him. I think that's his problem. Dude, this guy's crazy. These people are crazy with this Jalen Hurts stuff.
Like, how is it that, like, crazy? They just said that, too, the other day. It was like, Jalen Hurts, the most accurate quarterback in the NFL when kept clean. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts didn't even have – I don't think he played his best ball last year. He played good ball last year. And he's still getting hated on. Super Bowl MVP. That's the second Super Bowl where he showed up and showed out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's crazy.
He won the Super Bowl now. No one in his draft class has won a Super Bowl. It's like, why is the hate still here, 500 for a quarterback? And If you
You know,
start the franchise, would you be happy with having Jalen Hurts as your quarterback?
yeah, hell yeah. I would start. He would be one of the top guys I get. You know, it would be either him or Mahomes. It would be one of those two guys. Listen, Jalen Hurts is a stone cold killer. All right,
Yeah,
he's a stone cold killer, and he wins games. Yeah, I think the problem is this is my opinion. I think these guys are all caught up in this argument of who puts up the most touchdown passes, who puts up the biggest numbers, and they fall in love with that, right? But then you look at these quarterbacks that put up these huge numbers, then they go in the playoffs and they all look like they all put Jalen Hurts numbers up. Jalen Hurts plays playoff football all year long. A lot of
yes.
these guys just put up big numbers, do nothing, then they get to the playoffs and they can't win. I think these guys are all in love with the wrong thing, and they're all stuck in a trap where they don't want to come out and be like, yeah, I was wrong. Just man up and say you were wrong. So they just keep doing this stuff. Just for him to say that is ridiculous. That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. It's crazy.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is a sniper. All right, he sits back, he waits until his number is called, and then say take the shot. Like the two biggest games this season was the Commanders in the championship game and the Super Bowl. If we don't have Jalen Hurts, it's going to be hard, you know what I mean, to play, to win by that much, at least by that much. But he's a dual threat. And you see when we played the Commanders like 5 weeks before that, when Jalen Hurts is out, we couldn't do nothing because it was obvious what the Philadelphia Eagles was going to do. Hand the ball to Saquon, they load the box. One person changed that whole thing versus the Commanders. You put Jalen Hurts back, and now a whole bunch of confusions. So a lot of teams, I watched Lamar Jackson. Yo, he irks me if I was a fan because the way he plays all over the place. Jalen Hurts is cool, calm, collected, right? Lamar Jackson is great throughout the regular season, but in the playoffs, man, that dude is below like average in the playoffs. So I don't know what they are looking at. And I think this offseason is all clickbait, right? There's not a lot of drama. You know, like the biggest drama right now is Aaron Rodgers, right? One team to sign him is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's the biggest drama right now. Like there's no wide receivers going from there to there. There's no quarterback. It's only Eagles won a Super Bowl. Let's bash the MVP quarterback. You know what I mean? That been to the Super Bowl, you know, twice in 3 seasons. Should have had 2 Super Bowl MVP, 2 Super Bowl rings, but it is what it is. But hey, let's bash him and not, you know, Lamar Jackson that can't get it done. That's about to go into his.
That's the big thing. Lamar, Josh, none of these cats got it done.
None of them.
You know, like they're putting up these magical numbers. It's just like kind of like all those years, Peyton Manning, 4,000 yards every single season he played. You know what I'm saying? Like every single season. He was like the best passing quarterback. But Brady was winning the Super Bowls. Yep. You know? Like you had the guy with all the yards, but Brady was winning the Super Bowl. So why don't Jalen kind of get that same respect? He's won a lot of football games, you know? He's out there winning every what the Eagles, what they say, 3 times in the last 4 years, 14-3. Or was it 2 times? 2 or 3 times the last 4 years were 14-3. Like that's winning football. You've only lost 3 games a season, my guy. Like, how can you not be considered like the elite of the league? I understand you want to say whatever you want to say about, you know, the tush push. I know Jalen Hurts is like number 1 in the NFL, you know, by 26 in the tush push. You know what I'm saying? Like he beat out guys like Barry Sanders, you know, Walter Payton and all that stuff, but he has regular runs too. The accuracy, the last 2 years, you know, last couple of years, like Jalen's been really accurate. You know, this year specifically, he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the game just because he doesn't put 4,000, 5,000 yards up because we got a 2K running back and we got other players that can handle their business with the ball. You know, even without those big numbers, you're still putting guys like A.J. Brown in the all-pro situation because he got enough numbers to make it there. You're still getting guys like Devontae Smith in the Pro Bowl last year and almost 1,000 yards this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're still getting your key receiving targets their share, you know, to make sure that they're still good enough to be considered tops in the league. So how can you just hate on this guy? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just sick and tired of it. I think it's ridiculous now. I think after he's won a Super Bowl, now you got to shut the fuck up. You know, you just gotta shut
Absolutely.
up. You know,
Absolutely.
you just gotta stop hating on
Absolutely.
man and let him continue to, you know, do his thing because like you said, he's a winner. He has stats too. Because like, people that keep saying stats, like it just matters what stats you want to talk about. Because he has
Yeah.
stats. He's high ranked in a lot of stats. He got records all over the place. So it's not that he don't have no stats. It's just like you're looking for, oh, he don't got the 50 touchdown passes, but he got 50 touchdowns in the season. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know, they weren't all passes, so that makes him a bad quarterback now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's just a little ridiculous. I just
It
think
is.
So, question for y'all. So do you think if Hurts would have been playing in McNabb, Culpepper, Vic era, that he'll be look at the, you know, at least the top three, you know, quarterbacks, and now he's playing against, you know, Patrick Mahomes. That's not really a runner, but he does put up a lot of stats. Josh Allen, you know what I mean, and Lamar Jackson. I've seen like that he'll fall better with the Culpepper group than this type of group because they wasn't putting up those big numbers either, but they were making plays with their legs, and I mean magical plays that we've seen with Jalen Hurts, but I don't know.
I'll tell you this: if Jalen Hurts, and I may piss some people off, Jalen Hurts was playing in the Andy Reid era instead of McNabb, he wins 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I don't believe he does.
man. He probably wins all of them. But now a choke artist.
McNabb was a choker, you know, and it wasn't as big of a passing league as it is now. So you still had Brady, you still had Peyton Manning. Those were the 2 top guys. But now it's ridiculous because all these guys do is focus on numbers. Like Justin Herbert to me is like the greatest example. All they did was brag about this guy. He's only thrown 3 interceptions all year. Goes into a playoff game, throws 4 in a game, 5 in a game. It's ridiculous. It's like when like I don't know when the switch happened because it feels like nowadays people are more concerned about what you do in the regular season than in the playoffs. Like to me, how is Dak Prescott not criticized more for his playoff record? To me, when I was growing up, coming up, it was always about quarterbacks in the playoffs. What do you do in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And now they don't even talk about it. It doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts' best 2 games of his career were in the biggest stages, were in both Super Bowls. So I think it's absolutely insane, man. I don't know. I don't get it.
Too. You know what I'm saying? He's only been in the playoffs. He don't know what it's like to be sitting at home at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been in playoffs. Yes, he exited 2 times, but been in Super Bowl twice, 2 and 1-1. Like you said, should have won 2. So I don't know, man. Like I just feel like there's a lot of other quarterbacks that got a lot of other flaws. You know, Lamar Jackson won, 2 MVPs. You know, even like you said earlier, Dak Prescott, the regular season champion of the world. You know what I'm saying? He can put up some numbers against the Giants. He can put up some numbers against some weak teams. Where it makes him look like he's all gaudy. But like people, when they say that to me, I feel like the disrespect is more towards like you act like the minimum passing isn't accurate, isn't like plays that were like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like I was showing the video at the beginning of the video, like he puts dimes out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he puts balls in positions where only his receivers can get to. These are not like he might have 19 throws for the game, but like the 16 completions, like 15 or like 13 of them were dimes, like just on the money, 2 touchdown dimes, not putting up the 400 yards, but he's dropping dimes for touchdowns. So it's like, I don't know what these people are seeing out there. This dude got everything you want in a quarterback to be your quarterback. And I am so proud and happy that he's our quarterback moving forward for sure.
Just keep ignoring them because they're wrong. They're wrong all the time. They're wrong.
Or just let them keep hating because it seems like he keeps winning.
They're wrong.
Yeah, they're acting like that. Hey, he's Trent Dilfer or somebody.
Yeah. That's what I hate. They act like he's like one of his shitty quarterbacks. That one he's Trent Dilfer. He's a Joe Flacco that won a Super Bowl or something like that. Or they're like this dude's been all pro already. Like he's got Pro Bowler, multiple Pro Bowlers. Like he definitely does his thing, man. I just want all the hate. And that thing what Chase said, that's just ridiculous because I would definitely start my franchise with Jalen Hurts as my starting quarterback.
There's only one guy I would maybe consider over him, and that's Mahomes. I'm even
thinking now, you got to realize We just beat the snot out of him. I know it's a team.
You just beat him. Yeah, we just beat him, and we played, and
But
he
2 times
outplayed
in a row
Mahomes
now.
twice. He's
That's twice
outplayed
in a
him
row.
twice. It's true. It's true.
You know?
Mahomes got 3 titles. I'll give him that respect. But yeah, I mean, Jalen.
The year before, when Mahomes won it again, that season we beat him.
Yeah.
You know, that season we still beat him. So
That's right.
He got to what?
He's
2-1 against Mahomes against the GOAT.
Yeah.
So it's like
And
he's
the-
doing it.
And the other thing is too, Jalen Hurts. How many offense coordinators have he had since he's been in the NFL alone? And plus, right, and Mahomes has had Andy Reid his whole career.
Yeah.
Right. You know, so it is what it is, man. At this point, look, I try not to retweet anything because every time you retweet, you bring more haters in and I'm getting frustrated, man. You know what I mean? Like it just.
Hey, we are 17. We're gonna get 500 out of here. But I got a couple more quick questions. We got one right here. What do you think about this one? Should the NFL add a 3-point conversion?
No.
3-point conversion.
No.
Yeah, it's called a field goal.
Yeah, a regular field goal. Yeah, no.
A 3-point conversion at the end of the game if you need to get that 3 points to win it.
No, what they should do is they should just put the kickoff rules back to what they used to be, and we're good.
Yeah.
That's
well, that'll be the next one. One rule change you guys think should be made.
Yeah, the kickoff rule, man. Hey, it needs to go back or just get rid of the kickoff because you are starting at the 35-yard line. 35. If you're down by 3 or even you're down by 1, guess what? It's so easy. Look, just get 15 more yards and you're going to have a Jake Elliott 60-yarder. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or Justin Tucker 10 years ago, 65-yarder. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or Adam Vinatieri 80-yarder. But it's not that hard no more. So, if you're going to put at 35, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Just make everybody start from the 15.
I just wish they go back to what they used to do, because the whole thing with the 35 and stuff is now you can't onside kick it unless it's the fourth quarter and you tell the teams you're going to onside. That takes a whole element out of a game. I just don't like it. It sucks.
They should change that part. I think even if it is you keep in the same way, you shouldn't have to tell them, even though because the team should automatically know you're about to do an onside kick. You shouldn't have to alert nobody. You should be able to run out there, do your thing, and do it. It shouldn't be the thing where you have to hey guys, we're about to do an onside kick. A team, if you're down by more than one possession, a team should know that that's their next position. That's just normal football. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to announce it. But yeah.
If
I had to change a rule, man, I would change. Maybe the hitting the quarterback rule. I think I want to see more quarterbacks get blasted.
I do too. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But all right, 500. Last words before we get out of here, my guy. Anything you coming up with? You doing any draft? Any kind of draft show? Anything?
I'll be streaming the draft. I'll be live for the draft. But I just want to thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It was fun. And we'll see, man. It's been a little bit of a quiet off season. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm looking forward to the draft and seeing some things happen. So should be interesting.
You see, quiet is good. Quiet is good. That means that if we can complain that we won the Super Bowl. I take this every off season. Mock draft, what? People start mock draft in December. We in March, we're what mock draft? I take that every off season, man. Just be grateful, Eagle fans, man. We do not know what it feels like to not make the playoffs with our quarterback, a starting quarterback on the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. We are getting spoiled. Don't believe those haters, man. Just let them talk. Y'all just defend your players, and that's it, man. Don't try to be yay, but Hurts in this. Stop it. Y'all part of the problem yourselves. So if there's enough haters out there, let's just support our players and our coaches, man, and our GM. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
To go, like we always say at the end of my videos, fly, Eagles, fly. And at least we don't got our old school vets saying this.
I love him. He's a proven champion. They have a great chance of winning this week. And he is the reason why they will win.
What are Cowboys fans going to say if the Eagles do win the Super Bowl?
Can't say nothing. Can't say nothing. Keep your mouth closed.
What's going on, everybody, man? And welcome to the very, 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 very